I explain the conversation project as a dialogue, and it comes in cases like this where we cover stories that your engagement, the people online, the people in the feeds are really jumping onto, show that people want to talk about it, people want to get into it, whether it's something as trivial as Justin Baldini and Blake Lively or something really, really silly on those cases. And these are stories that I either don't care for or don't care about. Blake Lively and Justin Baldini, I don't particularly care about, but it's something people talk about. It's conversational. People are chatting up. People are doing the dirt, doing the tea, so we're talking about it. Here's a story I don't particularly care about. It has some big implications, but the deeper meaning of it, it gets lost in translation. And me personally, I'm not a citizen of New York City, so it's not really my problem. However, there is now controversy rising for the mayorship of that city, as it's one of people see it as top 5 jobs in politics across this nation. It may not be just the mayor of the city. The mayor may seem like it's bigger than the governor of New York, but because New York is such a large target, for lack of a say, of people coming in, out, big part of commerce, and people see it for what it is. Being in charge of that city means you get a lot of people with eyeballs on you. Eric Adams trying to get that job or keep the job as an independent. We do know that Curtis Sewa, the former, I guess still a lawyer, I guess, a talk show host, and the still head of the Hells Angels, Guardian Angels, trying to get that job as the Republican. And for the Democratic side, we had the rebirth of Andrew Cuomo, which failed. He may come in as an independent in a moment. But the Democratic nominee for governorship of the city of New York City is a man named Zohran Mamdani. And he's 33 years old. He's a state assembly member and presumptive Democratic nominee. There's still some votes to be counted, but he's going to be there for the mayor's ticket. It's going to happen. But we're getting some calls about his U.S. citizenship. In fact, they want to revoke it, but we'll go deeper in that in a second. Right now, critics are talking about his naturalization. He's only been a citizen of these here United States for 7 years. And maybe, just maybe, there's some things in his recent past that could get him naturalized and deported. Republican groups across the state, including New York Young Republicans Club and the Tennessee Congressman Andy Ogles, sorry about that one, have accused Mamdani of concealing extremist ties during his naturalization process. They point out the controversial rap lyrics praising individuals linked to Hamas and invoke the defunct Communist Control Act, which is defunct, but they're bringing it up. Ogles has formally asked the U.S. Department of Justice to investigate the man to see if he's doing things against America, which means that should disqualify him from being one of America's biggest mayors or mayor's biggest cities. Your grammar may vary in those cases. Now, under U.S. law, stripping someone's citizenship is a process known as denaturalization and requires proving intentional fraud or concealment at the time of naturalization. Essentially, he came to the States. He came to want to be a citizen. He did all the work, but he's actually a sleeper agent looking to bring things down. This is essentially what the Trump administration is talking about right now in many of the people that they are trying to deport back to the where they came from, if you will. People who are coming to colleges under false pretenses that they want to learn and grow and be a part of the American culture, but actually just want to sow dissent and be a part of all these protests. They're saying this from Mamdani, that the fact he came to the States, he came, got naturalized, and now he really is just want to take over New York City so he can turn it into a socialist wasteland, apparently, which he will do regardless of being a citizen or not, well, regardless of the naturalization or not, is going there. Now, legal experts say it's a high bar to make this happen, especially with all he has in his background, as short as is being a council person and as short as is being a naturalized citizen. But it's going to take some extra work. So the Tennessee Young Congressman has some work to do. Mamdani's backers dismiss this denaturalization process as politically driven, as you would, rooted in Islamophobic and anti-socialist rhetoric, as you would, and emphasize that he be the city's first Muslim and Indian American mayor, arguing that those attacks are basically terrorist sympathizer and communist lunatic, are just xenophobic playbooks, just dog whistles that are really, really loud ones, loud enough that other people can hear them, oddly enough. So the controversy actually shines lights on gaps in the vetting process for naturalized citizens, things you don't really think about in the process, things that the Trump administration actually has a good reason to think about. People coming in with a pretext of being good neighbors and not being good neighbors, and basically that's something to think about. Now, security is an issue. Is it as big as an issue it is? Flip side says no. And for a race like this one, as big as this one, not that the vetting process is anything or any perfect, because nobody really vets anybody until they're actually on the ticket. It comes with a reality that people will do anything to take down their opponent, regardless of the fact that they can't prove that they're a better opponent. It's why electioneering tampering is such a big deal by both parties. They want to make sure less people from the other party show up to vote, as opposed to convince those people to vote for them. It's how our politics works these days. Welcome to America. The unfolding of this legal and political battle will take over time. There's still obviously months until we go to this election, and a short amount of time to decentralize the citizenship, whatever. Just get them out of there. It's not going to happen, folks. It's just not happening. But there are deeper tensions that go along to the national scale with this one person in this technically local issue. Like I said, New York City is a large city, so people care about it. But it's immigration, it's identity, it's ideology. It's going to shape political processes. And while people in the politics body are hand-wringing over the future of the Democratic Party, how Joe Clyburn, basically how a long-standing political figure endorsed a person who had some sketchy past, and James Clyburn, his sketchy past being Andrew Cuomo, and he lost going into this, and how that's going to be an issue going forward for politics. So it's a bigger political issue. It's a bigger immigration issue. It's a larger issue than it needs to be. We will keep an eye on the New York City politics scene because it's a big deal. We'll keep an eye on this case because you guys seem to care. As I said, sometimes these things are stories that I could rather just live it out. But it's all about you and your want a conversation. Keep checking the feeds. Keep emailing me with story ideas. And if you want to talk about it, we're going to talk about it, whether I'm really into it or not.